Hey guys, Stealth here. It has been a long time since I posted on this channel, and I'm sorry about that. Now, what I have for you today is a bit of a trial video. I came across a subreddit called Writing Prompts, and over here on the subreddit you can find a couple of very short stories, which are inspired by, as the subreddit title says, writing prompts. Which means that somebody posts a writing prompt, and that writing prompt then sparks people's imagination and they write a little story about that. For this story, in the K9 world, humans are celestial beings that live for more than 500 years at a time. The caretaker of you, and in this case you refers to you as a dog, and the last 7 generations of your family is about to die. That's the writing prompt, and then comes the story, written by Ecstatic and Insatiate. Gods should never die, yet there he was, wasting away in his armchair like an old leaf, curling up on himself. My mother told me, when I was just a pup, that there is no such thing as an end for our human. Not the way that we end. We dry up like a puddle in summer, only there for our season. But humans die like mountains. It's a slow process of unbecoming, something that begins and ends well before we ever see it. I spent my nights there by his side now, listening to his breathing go hollow. He is losing himself, moment by moment, breath by breath. When my people die, we want to go off alone. My mother died that way. I knew it when she nuzzled her head into mine and gave my muzzle one final kiss. Be good, she had told me. Always do what the master says. I had asked if I could go with her, see her to the gate at the end of the world. No, she had said. I must do this alone. But my human wanted me there. He has always wanted me there. From my earliest memories, I was the favorite child. I was the only one he kept when my siblings went off, one after another, to new families, new lives, new humans to guard and serve and love. But like my mother, I was special. I was chosen. I was meant to spend my forever with our human. Somehow, my forever has become longer than his. We sit like we always do now. The strange metal creature hunkers at his side, all those tubes curling from it, always hissing away. He takes it everywhere with him, wheels squeaking, even when he refills my food bowl with a trembling hand. I was frightened of it at first, but both of us are here at Master's side now. My spot has always been the sheepskin rug at the floor beside my human's chair. I always lay there watching the light box he put on at the end of the day, watching him smile, lifting my head to accept affection when his hand seeks the top of my head. Tonight, the light box is not on. It is just as dead-eyed as he is. My human wilts in his chair, and I know by the smell of him that he is changing, decomposing. He has beginning of winter smell, the soft, subtle scent of decay. Come up here, puppy, he tells me. Every day since my earliest days he has called me puppy, for I am always his. I hesitate, tilt my ears back, nervous and uncertain. My human pats his lap again. He never lets me up there, except on the grey days. Like the day the other human he once lived with and laughed with and held and danced in the kitchen simply vanished. Her smell lingered in the house, in the things she left behind, but she never returned. Only my master came home that day, dressed in all black. He held me then, and wept salt tears into my neck. I couldn't understand then, but I'm starting to understand now. I pull myself up into his lap. I curl up in a tight circle on his legs, and he rests a wrinkled, shuddering hand on me. We've had a good run, haven't we? He murmurs. He runs his fingers through my fur. I only sigh and relax. This is where I'm meant to be, right here with my human, who is certain as a mountain. Rain patters against the window. The night is crying, because I cannot. You'll be good for my sister, he says. I cock my head, quizzically, trying to make sense of what he means. She was never much of a dog person, but she promised she would keep after you, give you bones, just like I used to. I lean my head into his hand. There's no reason for him to worry. He's the mountain. He may be fading, but mountains can never die. Not before I do. His breath is thin and weary. He inclines his head back against the recliner. She has a yard, a big yard. You'll like it there. So much better than here. I couldn't like anything better than here. I stare up at him, and he must see the fear in my eyes because his face cracks a smile. Don't you worry, you still have me tonight. I'm still right here. His hand keeps petting me, over and over, rubbing circles under my ears like he has since I was a pup. I lay there with him, sharing heat as the rain pours outside, as the metal machine feeding into his nose hisses away. The petting stills and slows as he slips into sleep, his breath ragged and uncertain, but his hand sits warm and heavy on my back. I haven't slept on my master's lap since I was small enough to miss the smell of my mother. He always laughed at me and told me I was no lapdog anymore. But tonight, we can pretend time hasn't passed. I sleep there with him as the darkness sweeps over the house. It creeps through the living room while we sleep, and somehow I don't hear it. I thought I would hear it. Master always tells me I could hear a cricket whisper. I thought I would know. But I don't realize until I wake to a grey morning, the windows slick with wet. I nudge my master's hand, but it lays cold and still as the dawn. I whimper and whine and nuzzle and lick, but the mountain has gone. It is like looking up and seeing a hole in the sky. I sit there on his lap, willing time to turn itself backwards. I know I will die alone, like my mother and her mother and all the generations before me. But at least my master did not. That was a beautiful story that I found on the Writing Prompts Reddit. Now, as I mentioned, very experimental video. I am doing these vids as an experiment, but also to become a better reader. Twofold. One, I really like reading out loud. And people have mentioned that they find my voice soothing. So if this is something that I can help you relax with, then by all means. And on top of that, of course, I am expecting a child in September. And, well, I'm going to have to read to him or her too. So I might as well make this an experiment and learning. Anyway, shorter video than usual. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Good, bad, more, less. I'm open to all sorts of feedback. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, rather. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know what your thoughts are.